Dr. Duncan Robertson from the School of Business and Economics at Loughborough University and an expert in COVID-19 modelling joins us now. Hi, Dr. Robertson.
Hi, Colin. Hi.
Sorry to squeeze you in. Obviously, we were going to talk for a longer period about what can realistically be achieved within this looming 4-week period of lockdown, but I think it'd be nice to still do a couple of minutes and get your expertise on it. So, 4 weeks from 1 minute past midnight through for 4 weeks, what can realistically be achieved?
Well, I suppose the thing is that we're not going to see an immediate fall because it takes time for people to get infected and then to end up in hospital and then, have serious outcomes. So it's not as though we sort of turn the tap off with these the new regulations that will come in. It'll take a couple of weeks for us to see that. So really, it's only by the end of the sort of new imposed lockdown that we'll see much change.
Sage scientists were advocating for it back in September. How much more effective would it have been to bring it in then and not now? Or actually, is it as effective percentage-wise no matter where you bring it in?
Well, the thing about if we brought it in a couple of weeks ago is last week or the week before, we could coincide that with half term. And of course, that would reduce the R rate much more than it would by having children and indeed their parents and at school. So the problem is it's going up and it's doubling around. Well, it was doubling about every 2 weeks, and it takes longer than those 2 weeks for it to come back down. So this sort of delay means that you're going to have more stringent interventions, and they're going to last for a longer time.
We always have this lag. It surprises me sometimes when we're so far into this, we know so much about it. There will always be a 2 to 3 week lag in what we're seeing coming through. How much of a worry, if at all, to you in terms of with schools, universities staying open, of how much that damages the realistic chances of it substantially bringing down that infection rate, that R rate?
Well, I think it's sort of touch and go about whether this R value will decrease below 1. I think it's going to hover around 1 because, essentially schools are a good way of reducing it even further. So I think the question comes, what do we do with the time that we're having in these sort of 4-week second lockdown? And really, we need to get that test, trace and isolate system working, because otherwise we're just going to come out of lockdown and we're going to be in the same position as we were before.
So without that adequate test, tracing, you find it becomes a vicious circle.
Well, that's right. And I suppose what we found is that the number of cases we have, we don't really know because more people have the virus than the testing capacity. So we have to look at things like hospitalizations, and we have to, look at signals that are sort of lagging. And so we're really playing a sort of game of catch up to control this virus.
Listen, thank you for waiting patiently. Appreciate that. Dr. Duncan Robertson from the School of Business Economics at Loughborough University.